Nashira, Hava Nashira, let us sing. Come let us sing, come let us sing, come let us sing, come let us sing, come let us sing. Hava Nashira, come let us sing, come let us sing, come let us sing, come let us sing, come let us sing. Hava Nashira, Hava Nashira, Hava Nashira, Hava Nashira, let us sing. Hava Nashira, Hava Nashira, Hava Nashira, let us sing. Come let us sing, come let us sing, come let us sing, come let us sing, come let us sing. Hava Nashira, come let us sing, come let us sing, come let us sing, come let us sing, come let us sing. Hava Nashira, Hava Nashira, Hava Nashira, Hava Nashira, let us sing. Hava Nashira, Hava Nashira, Hava Nashira, let us sing.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Shabbat Shalom.
I'm Rabbi Deborah Goldberg. I'm really honored to be on the Bima tonight with Cantor Stefano Iacono, with Rabbi Julie Carroll. Our music this evening is being led and enhanced by J. David Williams, Daniel Balin, and Shane Shanahan. We're so grateful to get to bring in Shabbat together this evening. Whatever has happened this week, whatever is left on our to-do list, we get to leave at the door for a moment as we bring in Shabbat, as we step into this moment in time where we let go of some of the things of the world and get to celebrate this gift of Shabbat together. To begin our Shabbat this evening, it's my honor to invite forward our young folks who are becoming B'nai Mitzvah tomorrow, Toby Korn, Alma Medlitsky, and Laura Brimberg. I want to invite you forward to help us light Shabbat candles this evening as we welcome in Shabbat. You can find the blessing for candle lighting on page 2 or on the walls of our sanctuary. Yasher Koach and Mazel Tov to all of our B'nai Mitzvah and to their families. We're so excited to celebrate you and your leadership tomorrow. As we begin our Shabbat service this evening, I also want to give a special shout out to our RSS 8th graders who graduated on this Bima this morning. And so this is the first Shabbat that they are spending officially as alumni of Rodef Sholom School. So we celebrate them and all of their hard work to make it to 8th grade graduation. We'll continue with Shiru Ladonai on page 15.
Shiru Ladonai kol haaretz. Shiru Ladonai shir chadash. Shiru Ladonai kol haaretz. Shiru Ladonai shir chadash. Sing unto God all the earth a new song. I will sing unto God a new song. unto God, and we'll all sing along. All the earth a new song unto God. Shiru l'Adonai kol haaretz. Shiru l'Adonai shir chadash. Sing unto God, all the earth a new song. I will sing unto God a new song. Sing unto God, and we'll all sing along. All the earth a new song unto God. Shiru l'Adonai kol haaretz. Shiru l'Adonai shir chadash.
We turn now to the words of Lecha Dodi, our love poem to Shabbat. Tonight we'll sing verses 1, 2, 5, and 9 together. Our custom here at Road of Shalom is on the 9th verse, the last verse, to rise and face the door from which we entered to symbolically welcome in the Sabbath bride. You can find the words for Lecha Dodi on page 20.
דודי לקראת קהלה, יאללה לה 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 לה, בני שבת נקבלה, יאללה לה 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 לה, לך דודי לקראת קהלה, יאללה לה 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 לה, בני שבת נקבלה, יאללה לה 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 לה, שמור וזכור בדיבור אחד, השמיענו אל המיוחד, אדוני אחד ושמו אחד, לשם לתפארת ולתהילה לה לה, לך דודי לקראת קהלה, יאללה לה 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 לה, בני שבת נקבלה, יאללה לה 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 לה, לקראת שבת לכו ונלכה, כי היא מקור הברכה, מראש מקדם נסוכה, סוף מעשה במחשבה תכלה לה לה, לך דודי לקראת קהלה, יאללה לה 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 לה, בני שבת נקבלה, יאללה לה 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 לה, התעוררי התעוררי, כי באורך קומי אורי, אורי אורי שידברי, כבוד אדוני עלייך נגלה לה לה, לך דודי לקראת קהלה, יאללה לה 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 לה, בני שבת נקבלה, יאללה לה 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 לה. אוי ושלום עטרת בעלה, גם בשמחה ובצהלה, תוך אמונה סגולה, בואי חלה, בואי חלה. לך דודי לקראת קהלה, יאללה לה 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 לה, בני שבת נקבלה, יאללה לה 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 לה, לך דודי לקראת קהלה, יאללה לה 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 לה, בני שבת נקבלה, יאללה לה 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 לה.
In In just a moment, I'll invite you to rise again as we turn to Baruch, our call to worship. But before we do that, as we welcomed and greeted Shabbat, so too do we want to welcome and greet each other. So I want to invite you in this moment to look around, and if you're feeling brave, you can get up and cross an aisle, and if not, you can stay in your seat and reach towards somebody near you. Introduce yourself to somebody that you don't know yet. Say hi to someone you haven't seen in a while as we lift up these connections in our community. I invite you to rise as you are able as we turn to Baruch on page 28.
Yai lai lai, yai lai lai lai, 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 yai lai 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 lai, yai lai lai lai, yai lai 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 lai. Yai lai 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 lai, yai lai lai lai, yai lai 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 lai. Baruchu et Adonai hamevorach. Baruch Adonai hamevorach le'olam va'ed. Yai lai lai, yai lai lai lai, yai lai lai, yai lai lai lai, yai lai lai, yai lai lai lai, yai lai lai, yai lai, yai lai. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto le'olam va'ed.
Please be seated. Ve'ahavta, page 36.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך וקשרתם לאות על ידיך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אדוני אלוהיכם אמת.
After the Israelites left Egypt, they crossed the Sea of Reeds, and on the other side, they lifted up their timbrels and they joined together in song and dance with the words of Mi Chamocha, our freedom song.
נהדר בקודש, נורת הילות אוסף אלה, מלכותך ראו בניך, בוקע ים לפני משה. מלכותך ראו בניך, בוקע ים לפני מרים. אדוני ימלוך לעולם לעולם ועד. יאללה ריי 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 יאללה ריי 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 יאללה ריי 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 יאללה ריי יאללה ריי 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 יאללה ריי ריי ונאמר כי פדה אדוני את יעקב וגאלו מיד חזק ממנו. ברוך אתה אדוני גאל ישראל.
Amen. We turn now to Hashkivenu, our evening prayer, on page 42.
השכיבנו אדוני אלוהינו לשלום, והעמידנו שומרנו לחיים. השכיבנו אדוני אלוהינו לשלום, והעמידנו שומרנו לחיים. השכיבנו אדוני אלוהינו לשלום, והעמידנו שומרנו לחיים.
והעמידנו שומרנו לחיים.
ושמור צאתנו שלום מעתה ועד עולם. השכיבנו אדוני אלוהינו לשלום, והעמידנו שומרנו לחיים. השכיבנו אדוני אלוהינו לשלום, והעמידנו שומרנו לחיים. השכיבנו אדוני אלוהינו לשלום, והעמידנו שומרנו לחיים. העמידנו שומרנו לחיים.
In this week's Torah portion, Shlach Lecha, we read of the 12 spies that Moses sent to scout the land of Canaan. Here's what the text tells us about their return. At the end of 40 days, they returned from scouting the land. They went straight to Moses and Aaron and the whole Israelite community at Kadesh in the wilderness of Paran, and they made their report to them and to the whole community as they showed them the fruit of the land. This is what they told them. We came to the land you sent us to. It does indeed flow with milk and honey, and this is its fruit. However, the people who inhabit the country are powerful, and the cities are fortified and very large. Moreover, we saw the Anakites there. Amalekites dwell in the Negev region. Hittites, Jebusites, and Amorites inhabit the hill country, and Canaanites dwell by the sea and along the Jordan. Caleb hushed the people before Moses and said, "Let us by all means go up, and we shall gain possession of it, for we shall surely overcome it." But the other men who had gone up with him said, "We cannot attack that people, for it is stronger than we." Thus they spread aspersions among the Israelites about the land they had scouted, saying, "The country that we traversed and scouted is one that devours its settlers. All the people that we saw in it are of great size. We saw the Nephilim there. The Anakites are part of the Nephilim, and we looked like grasshoppers to ourselves, and so we must have looked to them." What does it mean to assume that people you see that people see you as no bigger or more significant than a grasshopper because you yourself feel like a grasshopper? The Israelites, having only recent memories of being enslaved in Egypt, cannot or will not see a path forward to entering the Promised Land. Only 2 of the scouts, Caleb and Joshua, believe that they even have a chance of defeating those already in the land. Faced with the huge obstacle, Caleb and Joshua are the first to imagine a path forward. On Monday, we will observe the federal holiday of Juneteenth. The name Juneteenth is a combination of June and 19th, because June 19th, 1865, was the day that news of the Emancipation Proclamation reached the lost corners of Texas. If you're trying to remember your history, the Emancipation Proclamation was a presidential proclamation issued by Abraham Lincoln on January 1st, 1863. News of the executive order did not reach the last enslaved people in the United States until 2.5 years later. By marking Juneteenth, we observe a day in which we celebrate the freedom granted to people who should never have been enslaved in the first place. And we take time to reflect on the legacy of racism in our country and our responsibility to heal some of what is still broken. Tonight, we'll also get to learn from Professor Vogt of Technion University in Israel. She serves on the faculty of chemistry and is going to share about her work in sustainability and addressing the problem of climate change. Throughout the world, communities of color are disproportionately exposed to the devastating effects of climate change. We cannot ignore the ways in which racism and climate change are inextricably linked. To solve one, we must also pay attention to the other. Our world is in need of healing, our physical world as well as our society. In Judaism, we do not always necessarily pray for a cure. Sometimes we pray for strength, or courage, or wisdom. All of these are part of the idea of what it means to be healed. In our Torah portion, it is ultimately Caleb who says about entering the Promised Land and overcoming its challenges, "Let us attempt to do this, ki yachol nuchal la, for surely we shall overcome this." How do we become people who say, "Ki yachol nuchal la, for surely we shall overcome this"? We begin tonight by praying and learning together, and we continue after Shabbat by working to heal a broken world together. Tonight, our community is offering Misha Berach prayers for Sandy Sarabin, Tracy Lustig, Cassie Lustig, Michael Umans, Paulette Cohane, Patricia Horn, Stephen Schwinder, Perry Soskin, Roy Soskin, Jane Wiesen, Lori Weinberg, Richard Carver. We pray for Shira Eliza, Robert Appel, Zvi Leschetz, Mark Miller, Ellen Kirshner, Bobby Waldman, Mark Margulies, Paul Biddleman, Joseph Abada, Tom Lee, Ricky Dessen, Harriet Feldman. We pray for Ari Ginor, Phyllis Eidelberg, Ricky Dessen, Fred Jaffe, Arlene Jaffe, Stephen Lappin, George Taub, Lainey Wasker, Harmon Lamb, and Albert Carucci. Are there additional names to add to our Misha Berach healing prayers this Shabbat? Maxine. Thank you. Mark. Thank you. Thanks. We pray the words of Misha Berach together.
Berach Avoteinu Mekor HaBracha Leimotenu. May the source of strength, who blessed the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Yisheberach Imotenu Mekor HaBracha Avoteinu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shelema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
As we turn to the Amidah, I invite you to rise as you are able. We'll begin together on page 46. We'll say the first couple of prayers together as a community as we flip through the first couple of pages of the Amidah.
Yalla la la la, 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 yalla la la la. Adonai sefatai tiftach, ufi yagid tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise. Yalla la la la, 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 yalla la la la. Adonai sefatai tiftach, ufi yagid tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise. Yalla la la la, 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 yalla la la la. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, v'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, v'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor ve'Anora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, וקונה הכל, וזוכר חסדי אבות ואימהות, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה. מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם בעזרת שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיי הכל אתה רב להושיע, מוריד אתה. מכלכל חיים בחסד, מחיי הכל ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים. ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר. מי כמוך בעל גבורות ומי דומה לך, מלך ממית ומחיה ומצמיח ישועה, ונאמן אתה לחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני מחיי הכל. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יעללוך הסלע. ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש.
Please be seated. We turn now to Shalom Rav, our prayer for peace, on page 61.
Make of us a house for all people, gather us in hope for all people, surround us in peace for all people, in wholeness and in love. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Ki ata hu melech hador lechol hashalom. Ki ata hu melech hador lechol hashalom. Lechol hashalom. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. V'tov beinecha levarech et amcha Yisrael bechol עת ובכל שעה בשלומך, בשלומך. Make of us a house for all people, gather us in hope for all people, surround us in peace for all people, in wholeness and in love. Make of us a house for all people, gather us in hope for all people, surround us in peace for all people, in wholeness and in love. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam.
In case you missed it, we've got a young dancer of Israel here with us in the front. And with that joy in our midst, we take a moment for silent prayer and reflection.
prayer of loving creation. I hear the drizzle of the rain, it's falling from my window. And in the corners of my mind, I hope that I'll get to see you again. La-di-di-di-di-di-di-di, my friend, I hear the colors in the flowers. Ooh. Just like the candles snuffed at dawn. You're here, you're near, you're there, and then you're gone. La-di-di-di-di-di-di, suffering in sinking sand, all the hurt. See, I'm really lost, baby. We suffered a rare, rare blue, so much hurt on this earth. But you love me, and I really dared to love you too. Perhaps what I mean to say is that it's amazing that your love was mine. Oh, Maker, tell me, did you know this love would burn so yellow? Becoming orange and in its time explode from gray to black, then bloody wine. La-di-di-di-di-di-di-di-di. Oh, Maker, have you ever loved or known just what it was? I can't imagine the bitter end of all the beauty that we're living in. Oh, suffering in sinking sand, all this hurt. See, I'm really lost, baby. We suffered a rare, rare blue, so much hurt on this earth. But you love me, and I really dare to love you too. Perhaps what I mean to say is that it's amazing that your love was mine. Perhaps what I mean to say is that it's amazing that your love was mine.
It's amazing that your love is mine. One of the things that is amazing about Congregation Erev Shabbat is that you share what you love with us. And tonight, we are so honored that the Sussman family, Carol and Jeffrey and Ari, decided that they would bring to us something and someone that they love and admire. We are so blessed to invite to the Bima this evening, and Professor Vucht, I'll first give your bio, and I won't force you to come up yet, but I just want to share just some words about the scholar, the person we have in our midst who is so full of Torah. Assistant Professor Charlotte Vucht joined the Technion in March of 2021 to help launch the Center for Sustainable Processes and Catalysis and establish the Vucht Laboratory for Catalysis for Fuels of the Future in the Schulich Faculty of Chemistry. Researchers in her lab are fueling the future with advances in hydrogen production, waste recycling, and the design of new catalysts and better processes processes to transition away from fossil fuels and abate climate change. Professor Vogt was born in the Netherlands and spent time in the United States before returning to Europe for schooling. She received her bachelor's, master's, and doctoral degrees from Utrecht University in the Netherlands, as well as a master's in business management. Her doctoral dissertation focused on the conversion of CO2 to useful materials, and she is carving out an expertise in the spectroscopy, maybe that's how you say it, of catalysis, the interaction of light with different catalysts. So we are so blessed to be able to learn from you this evening, Dr. Vogt, not only representing a value that we care so much about, which is protecting our earth, but coming all the way from Israel, from the Technion, to tell us a little bit about the incredible things that are happening in our homeland and at one of the institutes of higher education that is the very best in the world. Thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you so much. I don't know how far away to stand away from this mic. Is that okay? Perfect. I'm really honored, first of all, to be invited to speak here. And I hope to tell you a little bit about the research that we're doing, the things that we're doing at the Technion. My name is Charlotte Vogt. As was mentioned, I'm a faculty member in the chemistry faculty of the Technion. For those of you who don't know about the Technion, it is the engineering school of Israel. It is the only school in Israel that provides degrees in aeronautical engineering. All of the engineers that made, for example, the Iron Dome are from the Technion. It's said, and I do really feel that this is the case, there are few schools, if any, in the world that have had such a profound impact on the establishment and the survival of a country than the Technion on Israel. And I'm very honored to be a louder. Is that better? Yeah, great. I'll just speak louder as well. No problem. And I'm honored to be able to work there. As was mentioned, I work in the field of catalysis. Again, I don't know how known that is for you. I always compare it to a magic wand. A catalyst. A catalyst is something that makes chemical reactions happen that otherwise wouldn't happen in the simplest of explanations. And we already rely on them currently for everything that we produce that is man-made, almost everything. From our fuels to the materials that we have in our clothes, everything that you see around you has touched a catalyst most likely in its lifetime. And currently, we do that with oil, mainly with fossil fuels. We use fossil fuels to make the things that we see around us. Obviously, I hope that that's obvious. We have to move away from fossil fuel usage. And again, I would compare what my French teacher used to say to me. He would say that French is the most important subject that you'll ever get in your lifetime. And then I think, am I like this? Because I say the same about catalysis, but I think that this is actually the case. If we want to do something for the better of the world that is not relying on fossil fuels, we have to come up with new catalytic processes at record speed. We've been able to do so before. You know, we've faced struggles in our relatively recent history where we've had to come up with new catalytic processes very, very fast. An example is the famine that was going on about 100 years ago when we were running out of guano, of bird droppings that were used to fertilize the world. They were mined from Chile, and they were shipped all around the world, and simply the bird droppings were running out. And so we had to come up with a new way to produce atomic nitrogen, so to split nitrogen. And we had no idea how to do that. Only nature knew how to do this. Only enzymes, they're extremely active towards them, which is why you can also find them in bird droppings. It's very funny for me to speak about bird droppings here in a school. Very sorry, but this was the case. And so Fritz Haber, a German at the time, he, by brute force, by performing thousands of experiments, or actually I think his his assistant was actually performing the experiments. By performing thousands of experiments, brute force, trial and error, found a catalyst that was able to split atomic nitrogen. And currently, by scaling up of that process, 50% of all nitrogen atoms that you find in your body are from that process. And it's single-handedly allowed us to increase the population on Earth by 6 billion people. And I can give you example upon example of how catalysts have already changed the world, changed the way that the world looks. But I want to say that currently the problems that we have to deal with, carbon dioxide, for example, removal from the earth, from the atmosphere, but also plastics removal, for example, all of these are going to rely on catalytic processes, new catalytic processes. And so the Technion, the high-tech, which has helped to build the high-tech nation that Israel is, currently is transitioning into trying to do the same on a sustainability level. So to be the school that will provide us with the engineers and the scientists that will allow Israel to do tikkun olam on the largest scale, to provide new clean tech, to help build the economy, not just of Israel, but build the economy around clean tech. If there's a place in the world where it can happen, it's Israel, I am convinced. And so this is the center that we're currently building at the Technion. I wanted to tell you a little bit about that. I don't want to keep you too long from your dinners, but I will be so happy to speak with any of you about the work that we're doing. And I want to say Shabbat Shalom Lekulam, and I hope to see you afterwards.
We are so grateful to have you representing the Technion and just another facet of Israel. It is so important for us as a community to be reminded that this place is so multifaceted. We can never in a year or even in a lifetime begin to capture what the state of Israel, what Am Yisrael, all of the ferment intellectually and creatively that is happening in the country. And so to the Sussman family, again, we are so grateful to you, because one of the things that we haven't spoken about from this Bima in a while is all of the incredible technology and innovation that's coming out of the state of Israel. And we have to pay such close attention to what our family over on the other side of the world is creating, not only to keep Israel itself safe, but to help shape a world that is going to hopefully figure out how to heal climate change, how to be able to advance something that is a rising tide that really lifts all ships. This is a country that is really powering the future for the world. And Dr. Vogt, we're just so glad that you came and can speak to us, and we want to let you all know that there's going to be a delicious oneg following this service in the lobby, and Dr. Vogt is going to be around and definitely will be available to answer any of the questions that you have about her work. If you want to practice pronouncing spectroscopy or catalysis, I'm sure she will help you master those difficult words. And we are just so grateful again to have you with us and to welcome you to our congregation this evening. We're going to invite the community to please rise as we turn to Aleinu on page 282, and the ark is open.
עלינו לשבח אדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצא בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגור עלינו ככל המונה, ואנחנו ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא, ונאמר והיה אדוני מלך
now to the Mourner's Kaddish, we acknowledge that for so many of us, the work that we do in our lives that gives us purpose, that fulfills us, has been inspired by the dreams and the commitments of those who came before us. We're going to begin with those who died in the past the period of Shiva, 7 days, or Shloshim, the past 30 days. If you hear the name of a loved one, we invite you to rise as you are able and affirm your presence. If you'd like to, you can participate in a ritual of memorial by coming to the 2 stations at the front of the room and placing stone on slate, imbuing that stone with your love, with your memory. And after that, we will continue with yahrzeits. So the recently departed, we remember Susan Baumgarten, Bert Bitterman, Roe Mandel, Harold L. Sokoloff, Eli Morrison, Albert Sanders. Is anyone else in the period of Shiva or Shloshim, the first 7 or 30 days? Is anyone in the period of Shana, the first year of mourning? We continue with those whose yahrzeits we acknowledge this Shabbat. Dr. Ben Aronson, Fanny Bacharach, Jewel I. Berenstein, Michael Berman, Mildred F. Berry, Saul Bayer, Deborah Judith Devine, Arthur S. Eisenberg, Barney Eisenberg, Husheng Eliassi, Gertrude Federer, Max I. Feldman, Janet Fenton, Sylvia Finkelstein, Rachel Fishman, Herbert L. Fleischer, Doris Friedman, Emily Furstenberg, Bessie Gelman, William Gilder, Rosalind Gilman, Alice Glenn, Frederick Gaynor, Lenora Goldberg, Ephraim Goldman, Murray Grant, Meyer B. Greenberg, Miriam Hecker, Zina Ben Ishai, Renee Javer, Aaron Karp, Charlotte Kimmelman, Joseph Kausoff, Paul Cronish, May Lappin, Faye Levine, Samuel Levine, Jack Lichtenstein, Marjorie Lorber, William Howard Lundeen, Belle Magalaner, Lawrence E. Mayer, Bess Markle, Steve Matthews, Beulah Meltzer, Nancy Mendelow, Regine Goldmunds Newcorn, Benjamin Nussbaum, Lisa Obert, Ann Obert Weinberg, Alice Yoshiko Okada, Alan Plotkin, Lionel Pomeroy, Franco Resta Flarer, Dr. Howard Rosen, Bertha Rosenthal, Lee Schiffman, Siegfried Siegel, Walter Marcus Sonneborn, Paula Steinfeld, Betty Sull, Louise Silbert Togut, Vera Togut, Maxwell Wallenstein. Are there additional names of loved ones you're remembering this Shabbat? We invite the community to please rise as you are able in sympathy and in fellowship for Mourner's Kaddish on page 294. Yit gadal ve'yit kadash shemei rabbah be'alma divra chirutei ve'amlich malchutei b'chayachon uv'yomechon uv'chayei d'chol beit Yisrael ba'agala uv'izman kariv imru amen yehei shmei rabbah mevarach le'alam u'almei almaya yit barach ve'yish tabach ve'yit pa'ar ve'yit romam ve'yit naseh ve'yit hadar ve'yit aleh ve'yit halal shemei d'kudsha barichu le'ela mikol birchata v'shirata Tush bechata v'nechemata ta'amiran be'alma v'imru amen Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya v'chaim alenu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen Osei shalom bimromav hu ya'asei shalom alenu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen
Osei shalom bimromav
Zichronam livracha, please be seated. Just a few announcements before we welcome back our B'nai Mitzvah families to the Bima. Tomorrow morning, adult services are at 10:15. We have an array of B'nai Mitzvah we're going to be celebrating. We're so proud and excited to celebrate with you and your families. On June 20th, from 8 to 9 a.m., the clergy will be posted outside of 83rd Street with coffee just to hang out with you. So come and visit with us and start your day with coffee with the clergy. Also, next Saturday is a very special once in 2 to 3 year opportunity to celebrate our adult B'nai Mitzvah class. That service is going to be at 10 a.m. next Saturday, so we hope that you will join us to celebrate the incredible commitment of this group of adults who are celebrating this milestone. And of course, just to reiterate again, we have a festive oneg following services in the lobby. We are so grateful, Dr. Vogt, for your contributions to the service this evening. We want to invite our B'nai Mitzvah families to the Bima so that we can celebrate and honor you with Kiddush. We'd also like to invite back Dr. Vogt and the Sussman family to join us for Kiddush on the Bima as well. So please come up, and we'll invite the community to please rise one final time as we prepare to say Kiddush. Everybody, oh, it's a big Bima. It's a big Bima.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu, b'shabbat kodsho be'ahava u'b'ratzon inchilanu, zikaron b'maaseh v'reishit, ki hu yom techila lemikra'e kodesh, zecher litziat mitzrayim, ki banu v'acharta ve'otanu kiddashta mikol ha'amim, b'shabbat kodshecha be'ahava u'b'ratzon inchaltanu. Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh ha-Shabbat.
I wonder what's under there.
Maybe I'll pull the cover off. Pull it up.
Oh,
what a beautiful challah. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen.
We'll conclude with prayers for peace.
Oseh shalom bimroma, uyaseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol yoshvei tevel,
You're my first grade class. How are you about mitzvah? I can't believe it. It's so great. You said tomorrow? Okay. Then you're up in a couple years, yeah? A couple years, yeah.